And he said, Josh, he said, unless a corn of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. He that loveth his life shall lose it. He that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me, let him follow me. Follow Jesus. He's our example. I see a lot of people in the world today that's following a lot of different things. Not just one particular thing. There's a lot of things that people are following just for man's sake. It's like Kimberly said something to me the other day, and I said, so since when did you start allowing other people to tell you how to live your life? You better be listening to God. And you better be paying attention to what God's got to say. Because he don't speak a whole lot. Because everything he says comes to pass, Tim. He don't speak a whole lot. He's got very few words to say, but when he says something, he's serious. And when he told me that, about that napkin falling, that ain't even a plant. But when that thing fell, instantly, like a switch, like a bing, like a light bulb went off. He said, and Josh, unless you fall to the ground and die to yourself, he says, to follow me. He says, take up your cross and follow me. Daily, not just once, but daily. Take up your cross daily and follow me. Every day when we get up, we got to pick it up. Every day. Every day. When we get up, we got to take up our cross, Tim, and follow him. That's the only way we're going to make it. That's the only way we're going to make it. We won't. If I tried to get up and go into my workplace, or I tried to get out here and just go to the football field, or I tried to get and just go to the store or something, and by myself on my own accord, the devil would knock me sideways. I guarantee it. Because he's roaring, church. He is everything he can possibly do to pit one against another. Everything he can possibly do to make evil good and good evil. Just look around you. Just look around you. His time is at hand. The hour has come that the Son of Man should be glorified. The hour has come that the Son of God should be glorified. I mean, there are so many things that are going on right now, taking place in the world right now as we speak. It doesn't surprise me every second, every tick on the clock that goes back that Jesus hasn't arrived yet. I'm surprised. I'm like, Lord, how can you let it go on? How can you let it continue? One more soul. One more. And the thought that comes to mind is that, what if that one soul is up to you? Bill, what if that one soul, what if the last soul's been dealt to you? Tim, what if the last soul is dealt to you? Somebody's been planting and somebody's been watering and somebody's been cultivating, and then all of a sudden you have the word to give them. And as soon as that word goes out, boom. Think about that. All the talk that's went out of this pulpit the last few Sundays, Wednesdays, about going out on the highways and hedges and compelling them and being a witness and living for God. And think about that. It blows me away, Bill, to think that'd be better than winning the lottery. That'd be the real jackpot. But if we're not prepared, if we haven't died to ourselves, and we miss that opportunity, who knows? Who knows? The hour has come that the Son of Man might be glorified. But we have to make sure that we're not living for ourselves. Make sure you're not living for yourself. Make sure that your priorities are in line. I'm not saying you just let yourself go and come in here all white. No, I ain't saying that. God wants you to take care of yourself, but God also wants you to be prepared. And God also wants you to think of others. He loves us tonight. He is in a preparation mode right now. I mean, it's like a countdown. I can see that clock in my head just tick, 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 tick. I can see that. We're in the countdown. We're in the last of the last of the last of the last days. We're late in time. It's winding up quick. I mean, you got everything going on everywhere. You got God speaking His Word, God preparing His church, God delivering messages, God showing people visions, God revealing Himself to people every day. We have to die to ourselves and allow God to be glorified. That they'll see Jesus in us. I don't want anybody to see Josh. I want everybody to see Jesus. I want everybody to have a revelation. I want everybody to see what I see. I want everybody to feel what I feel. I hadn't had that feeling in a long time, Bill, but since He's been speaking this word, I've had that feeling again. That I want everybody to, if they could feel what I feel for 5 seconds. I used to say that all the time. Man, if they could just feel what I feel for 5 seconds, I guarantee it would change their life forever. If you yield yourself to God, if you give yourself to Him, if you die to yourself and quit worrying about it, let God take care of it. Let God handle it. Let God have it. He can do more with it than you ever could anyway. I was discussing today, talking about tithes. Boy, you want to open up a can of worms with somebody. You talk about giving. Well, bless God, I'll give my money, and then I like to sit there and watch and see where it goes and make sure they do what I think they ought to be doing with it. Whew, I'm sitting there going, that's not your problem. You give. That's what God asked you to do, is to give. And whatever happens to it after that is between that person and God, or those people and God, that church and God. You've done your part. Give. If God tells you to give, give. Don't debate about it. Don't sit there and mill it over in your mind. Give. Like a Nike commercial. Just do it. Don't overthink it. You'll cheat yourself out of a blessing. You'll cheat yourself out of what God has for you. Because you're over-analyzing everything. You're trying to be in control. Listen, just let go and let God. Yield yourself to Him. How you die to self? Know that you're not in control. And that you're not driving. That God is. That's what you have to do. Know that you're not in control. Let go and let God. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not in control of my life. God is. Now, I'm just leading, He's following. Or He's leading, I'm following. That's what, yeah. He's leading, I'm following. I'm just, trying to walk it out with Him. Everybody's like, man, that's crazy. That don't sound, why are you doing? Listen, I don't know. A lot of times. I'll let God sort it out. God's got it under control. I can just, it's tough in my flesh, absolutely. To look and watch things happen to other people and say, man, Christian was talking the other day. She said, we went down, it may not mean anything to anybody else, but it meant something to me. We went down and had a football game in Etowah, and we were in there at the football game, and you know how they always do the national anthem and the invocation. They'll say a prayer before. Well, Christian happened to be sitting there at a ball field that's not even ours, and she's sitting there, and the people are having a discussion behind her. And that guy said, hey, you want to come up and do the invocation? You want to come up and pray? He said, don't worry about it. And Christian turned around and said, I'll do it. And he said, well, come on. And she went up there and she prayed. Praise the Lord. And she prayed over the football players to protect them and God to keep them safe. As long as you know that there were some boys off of their team that ended up getting injured that day, and we walked away injury-free. That may not have spoke anything to anybody else, but favor's not fair. That's the way that it goes sometimes. I can't explain it. I don't understand it. I just know that's the way that God is. God, this guy was just the world just going to blow off Jesus. That's so 1960. That's so yesterday. We're not doing that anymore. We're just doing the national anthem. When we do the national anthem, we're not even going to stand. We'll just all sit. We'll just all take a knee. It's not anything anymore. We'll all just, disrespect everything. No. Unless we die to ourselves, and it's easy for people to sit there and not do anything, not take a stance. But unless we die to ourselves as that corn of wheat, we'll never be fruit producers. We'll just be that seed that's laying there on the ground waiting to be withered up and blown away. We have to die to ourselves tonight, church, to be beneficial to the kingdom of God. We have to die to ourselves. We can't be looking out for numero uno. We've got to let God have control. We've got to die out to what we want to do, even if it, hey, like Brother Gillis, you've heard him say, sometimes it's be like, man, that's a big biker dude. I don't know. Hey, we got to die to ourselves. We get our teeth punched out, And if God's telling you to go witness to somebody, you're not going to get your teeth punched out. If God's in it, He's not going to let anything happen to you. You're going to be protected. You're going to be covered. That's the devil wanting to instill that fear in your life so you'll pass that on by. And that guy don't care what I got to say. Devil, I don't care if he cares what I got to say or not. I'm going to tell him anyway. Because I know if that's happening, he needs to hear it. Let's stand tonight. Amen. Kathy, put on that last song.
Thanks for joining with us for the broadcast from New Beginning Worship Center in Greenback, Tennessee. We are located at 6501 Highway 411 South in Greenback, Tennessee, zip code 37742. Emails may be addressed to nbwcmailbox@gmail.com. Pastor Marcus Severance and the congregation invite you to join with us Sundays at 10 a.m. for teaching, followed by worship services at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. We also meet midweek at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. We're located on Highway 411 in Greenback, Tennessee, just 3 buildings down from the intersection of Highway 95. If you can't meet with us in person, please join us again next time for our broadcast.